Have you seen that episode of Sex and the City?
No.
Where she gets their New York Magazine wants to interview
The cut of
her,
the Times, yeah.
Yes, for an article called Single and Fabulous. And she shows up to the photo shoot like extremely hungover and looking like shit. And then they put her on the cover of New York Magazine and they have Single and Fabulous ? With her looking like completely
understand.
strung out.
Hold on, you don't understand. This is exactly what I'm afraid of. No, you don't understand. I did this article with
You
the
are
cut.
Carrie
Hold on.
Bradshaw.
I mean, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
I got interviewed between
Jared.
flights. That's going to be, honestly,
She goes,
my life is Carrie Bradshaw.
I would never have agreed to Single and Fabulous ? Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you.
From your European vacation. How was it? I watched the whole thing.
You watched the whole, especially the first part.
The first part,
content.
when the betches vacation together, it is a 3-camera shoot. I'm
Content Central.
Content Central.
A lot of
and
reposts.
now I follow the husbands.
And now you get the reposts.
And the reposts. And I thought.
Did you want to mute us all?
No. I'm cheering. This is like, if someone said they muted me, I'd be like, what? I have fun. What are you talking about? How could I annoy you? You know, like,
right.
And so like, I kind of watch you guys. I'm like, great. There was Kygo. You went to a Kygo concert. You went to Portugal. You went to Ibiza.
You did it all.
How was it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy? Are you more in love with your husband? This is a relationship show.
Am I more in love with my husband?
After the vacation, do you walk away from that vacation? Do you come back on the flight and you're like, what a life we've built? Or is it like, got work tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes you closer. It's funny. It makes you closer, and then it also makes you feel like, do we have things to talk about? Because by the end of that's why I was talking about this on Oversharing this morning. I do love a couples and I like a group trip and a couples trip in the same trip. It's a great mix of energy.
Plus, you did it right. You want to go on the couples trip after the group trip, because then the couples trip is all talking crap about the couples you just went on the group trip
exactly.
with. This is the perfect breakdown. You did it perfectly. You don't want to go relationship trip, because then you'd end up talking shit about your husband, I guess.
To your friends. Right, yeah. So this is better for the relationship.
Yes.
Shit about the friends to the husband.
I like this.
Way better.
And so it was good. You're happy with the whole experience?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Peaks and
but
pits.
it is funny, by the end of like a trip, a week with anyone, by the end of the trip, the last dinner, we're like, so what have we not covered?
So how are you doing? Yeah.
Right. Well, it's funny, in the beginning of the couples trip, you're like, we're not on our phones. We're going to be like present at dinner.
Mindful.
By the end of the trip, we're like, I will see you when the entrees get here and we can discuss them.
I love it. Well, welcome back. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yes. I went to the restaurant in Lisbon that you suggested.
So I suggested this restaurant, and I want to make sure
it was
should we
great.
plug them? You liked it?
Yes, it was good.
It is called Ruas de los Tables de las Sur.
You can feel like you're in Portugal just listening to this with this impeccable accent. Yeah.
What is
I learned
it called?
one Portuguese
Ruas
de los something. Just keep saying street of, I think.
Street of. It's like a great restaurant.
Here, I'll find it. Hold on.
Find it, but I will say
because I had to Google I had to search in our conversations multiple times to find it.
People really
Taberna de Rua das Flores.
Okay, Taverna de Rua de las Flores. It is a chef's restaurant. You feel like you're
no menu. They come around with a chalkboard, so you know it's legitimate.
I'm sold. Like, that is like a marketing. It could be Applebee's. If they came around with a chalkboard, I'm like, wow, I am in with
and they've
the
got
villagers.
Rules. They're like, this is the order it comes in. I don't care what you order, but this is the order. So
I loved it, and I went with Harry and Ruthie, my brother and sister-in-law. What did you think? And it's cash only, which is like one of those things that's like annoying,
but like whatever.
But if someone told you to go, you're like, this is what we're
right. It's not going to stop you from going. And I mean, I looked up the restaurant. They didn't take reservations. And then I saw it on Infatuation. They wrote that people get there at like 5 to line up to put their name down for something. I'm in Portugal for one night. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Right. No,
but you were like, go for lunch.
There's a lot of things working against it.
Yes.
As far as why would we go?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we decided to go for lunch because you said that was easier.
Yes.
And it was easy. There was really like
There's
line.
no one there, yeah.
So it was great. We went in, but it was just very funny because you were like, this is like the authentic cool person Portugal restaurant. And Mike and I go in and we didn't see anyone we knew the entire time. I mean, obviously, except for the people we went on the trips with. We're in there for 5 minutes and Mike's like, that guy's in my fantasy league. I'm like, of course you sent us to the basic bitch spot of Lisbon. He's like, that guy over there in the Mets hat, he's in my fantasy. Like
I went to camp with him.
And
I know that's my grandmother. Yeah.
The one place you can see a fellow Long Islander.
This place is no secret.
So authentico.
It's good though. I really enjoyed it. I'm happy you guys liked it.
No, it was very good. Portuguese food is it's like Mike is like very it's Mike's kind of food. He's like into the meats, fish, all that stuff. All that like scallops.
Overall, you liked Portugal?
Overall, it was great. Yes.
Portugal's great. It has this very chill vibe, very by the sea. Mm-hmm. Reminds you of San Francisco a little bit.
Lisbon
because of the
for
hills.
sure. Yeah, the hills.
Where did you went to the beach? You went to Porto.
We went to Porto. We did like a wine tour, like day excursion to the Douro Valley. Mm-hmm. And then we went to the beach for 3 nights, which was the best part.
That was great.
And the beaches are beautiful there.
See, we went to
Comporta.
Right. I wouldn't suggest it.
You would say go to the beach.
I'd say that was the beach, quote unquote, but I would say go to where you went. I think you had a better...
That was nice. It was definitely relaxing. And then we went to Lisbon, and then we finished in Lisbon. Just one night. It was lovely.
So we're always happy for a Betch's vacation. It was great. I loved watching it.
But it was just so funny. The one place we saw anyone we knew was the
place
the authentic Portuguese spot you sent us to, where you can find
people are screaming "obrigado," in the worst, American accent.
But I got what you were saying about Portuguese people too. They're like very cool in a like, I don't give a fuck kind of way.
Laid back.
Yes.
It is chill central. I appreciate that as someone who's not chill.
Yes.
Like I can say that about myself, but I just loved it. It's great. It's I'm happy you went and had a good time.
It's nice.
And how was the group? Ibiza, the clubs? Was it nice to
That was fun.
Club it up?
Ibiza was a lot more expensive than I thought.
Very
it
expensive.
Would be. Yeah.
Well, Ibiza is one of those places.
It's kind of like Vegas. But
Vegas is the same thing. Vegas, the West Village, Ibiza.
Yes.
You go, how are these kids here? You kind of do this thing. How is everyone affording it? Well, they're doing a different trip than you. Like Ibiza.
You can do Vegas. You can do it cheap or you can do it expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're and again, you have this aging thing where you cross into I'm not sharing a room with 10 people.
Right.
Versus there are people there who are clubbing and they are like, I need the club. I need the. And you're like, how?
Now you're in the like, I'm not going if I'm not going to go stand in the crowd at the club. I need a table.
Right.
Yes.
You've crossed over, and that's it. It's okay to be that way.
I need a seat.
Right. Yes. You just can't act like you come back and you go, oh yeah, we're all the same. No. You're doing a different trip.
No, I'm better than everyone.
Yeah.
No, it was funny though because we, I had a realization. When we got a table at the club,
I think
because
it's a realization.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because they're so expensive and the minimum is like, you couldn't possibly order an amount of alcohol that would hit the minimum.
Right.
Like, unless you were just taking shot after shot after shot. So then I was like, now it all makes sense why when I was like a 22-year-old club rat, all these guys would always invite us to drink at their table. It was because they needed to hit the minimum.
Right. We're spending this anyways. It's spent
and I was like, all these guys just keep ordering bottles. They're like so nice to us.
They must love us.
Right.
Yeah.
They must love us. It's like, no, they like are desperately trying to hit.
We spent it already anyways.
Yes.
The money's gone.
Yes. I felt much less flattered. It was very.
The real world.
Yes. I was like, should we invite some random girls to our table?
Mike, go ask those women to come over.
Yeah. I was like
this swinging couple really wants us to hang out at their table.
I just don't want this alcohol to go to waste.
That's great. I'm happy you had fun.
Yes.
I was here stateside hanging. I was telling you before we started taping, I did this interview with The Cut.
So funny.
And I don't know how I'm going to sound in
it.
Well,
give us did they give you, how did they pitch the article to you?
Basically, I got this DM that was, and I did the interview. It comes out, I think, tomorrow, but I'm kind of nervous about it because I'm like, I've seen the cut.
Tomorrow, like September 4th.
No, tomorrow, day after taping.
Oh, tomorrow after taping. So it'll be out by now.
It'll be out by now. So you'll get to hear my pre-article feelings on this. But the cut, those articles, that's the West Village Woman article.
Yes. I mean,
they get passed around.
Right. They're like, if you're going to pass around an article, it's probably from them. It's usually like a think piece that sort of like involves someone you kind of know or know of.
Right. And it's like disagreeable on purpose. Like it's making a statement, which I appreciate. That's like what an article should be. It's got a position.
I agree.
Point of view.
It's got a point of view. And we were talking about, so the article is about what?
It's called like, what's wrong with men?
Where are all the single men? I feel like the New York Times had a piece like that recently. It was like, where are all the single men?
And which makes a lot of women angry. Because it comes off as blaming a lot of, which I don't.
As blaming
women for like.
Not settling?
I think it's like, there's a right wing or political angle to all this like sad men epidemic stuff that goes into like, which I don't agree with. Like, I do think there are sad men, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever taken the position of like, it's these women, but I think that's like
I thought it's more insulting to men.
I think it is. But then you see the response to it, and it's like the response is also a little bit cold from the women, like, we'll deal with it. And you're like,
but I'm saying, but the women are the ones who have to deal with it, right? If the men suck, then the women are, what are the women to do? It's not like, what are the men dealing with? There's all the available single women that they're not dating.
Well, I don't know. It's like this, like, you got to work together. And if we're so divided at these times that like, it's like that, it's like there's an economic theory here where it's like, if you work together, you guys will all be better off. But if you work against each other, you're all screwed. And it's like, that's kind of where the sad, lonely man epidemic comes in, where it's like, if you were a little, if you were nice, now I'm blaming the women.
Wait, so
I did this
interviewed you.
I basically get a DM and they're like, my friend's a huge fan. And I watched your special. You hit on like all these notes in your Netflix special about dating and how the men that we interviewed, they interviewed like 1,000 men. She's like, you're saying in your special the things all these men are kind of saying. And I'm like, well, thank you. Like, I'm very, I thought it was very nice of her to reach out. And I'm like, the cut that gets passed around. But then I was between flights I had a 3-flight day and I'm going from Seattle to Spokane. I'm literally taking this interview as I'm boarding the flight.
Okay.
And I'm like, she's asking questions. She's really pushing, and the way we talk on this podcast, but it was like on a podcast, you can kind of hear and feel, my discomfort with some of the subjects. I don't know how I'm going to be quoted.
So she's asking you about dating yourself?
Dating myself, and I bring up being posted in like, are we dating the same guy? Facebook groups, and like, listen, like, I do understand that there's a fear of like being just blasted for just and the male plight. If you compare, in the internet, we compare plights, and you can't really, and the victim always wins. And if you're looking at dating, woman who wants to fall in love is like a little bit more of a plight than man who's just not into it.
Right.
And that's kind of where I come in to try and explain this and feel like, and give a voice to like a kind of an icky voice. And I'm like saying this to you now, and I feel very comfortable saying that here.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what, I'm not trying to get you potentially.
I have no idea, but then you brought up, and I'm scared about this piece coming out.
It's just funny how much your life parallels Sex and the City. I mean, you moved, the mouse, dies right in front of you, and then you have to leave. But there is literally, I mean, I think we might have talked about this in a previous episode, because there is literally an episode of Sex and the City where Carrie is approached to do a New York Magazine article that's called Single and Fabulous. And she's like so excited for this article. It's going to highlight all the single and fabulous people.
I had no idea about this episode.
And the day before the photo shoot, the night before, she goes out clubbing until like 6 a.m. And then she's like startled awake, and she finally gets to the photo shoot. She's like late. They're like yelling at her. She's like smoking, and she looks like complete shit. And they take a picture, and then they publish her face on the cover of New York Magazine with the title "Single," like looking like a haggard, like very like washed up party girl, and it says "Single and Fabulous?" ? And she goes, "I did not sign up. I would never have signed up for Single and Fabulous ?
Honestly, I've been telling people about this article. I'm like, I'm not sure how it's going to be. I'm a little anxious about it. And this is my biggest
This is the male
fear.
version of that because it's like, where are all the men? Here's all the like,
here's the big fucking loser.
There's a few great men, but then it's like, this is what's left.
Right. The quote will be like, and I even said, she was like, where would people go to like for dating thoughts from straight single guys? I'm like, I'm the only one. And she's like, you're the only one? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm the only
single
one.
And fabulous.
Single and fabulous, maybe.
But the New York Magazine owns The Cut.
Right. No, so, these articles get passed. So like, and it's the scary thought of the world right now where it's like, and someone was like, if it's bad, that's the best thing that could ever happen to you. Yeah. And I'm like, that's crazy that you're right. Like
you get your own show.
Right. Like they're like, oh, this guy's a big
William
fucking
Hung.
loser. Yeah, I'm William Hung.
William Hung and then started that.
All my dreams. Oh yeah, we'll pick up the special. We'll buy it. You're the biggest name in loser. Like, so
would you take that?
I don't know. I don't know what I would take anymore.
If Hawk Twa can do it, so
Hawk
can you.
Twa sitting in jail for insider trading. No,
for like crypto.
Yeah, like we say things now that like, Hawk Twa, insider trading. You're like, is that a Mad Lib?
Right.
Like just saying sentences that you're like, that's a real sentence that. She's not in jail, by the way. She did get in trouble, but I
what a world.
Clear thing up. What a world. It is good to be back here in New York. We are wearing, if you're watching on YouTube, Abercrombie & Fitch has fitted us. You look great.
As do you.
Thank you. This is their like
great.
denim. This is their denim like.
I feel ready for fall.
I have to say, I feel very fall coated. I'm wearing in a creamy, knit short sleeve shirt. I got the denim jeans.
That's a great shirt. I might have to
you.
get that one for Mike.
I think it would look good on Mike. The jeans, a different fit than I'm used to, but this is what the kids are wearing, which makes me sound 100 years old.
These are also Abercrombie. I think these are very cool.
Yeah, I like those.
Yes.
I like those more for me than the ones I'm wearing right now.
You're like, I think those look better on me than you.
Yeah, this is a looser pair. I don't know. But I do. We're gonna be wearing Abercrombie. I love their stuff. I love their jeans. They fit really well.
They're great. I've bought many of their jeans before, and I have this actually like rehearsal dinner dress that I wear that I always get compliments on, and I'm always like, it's Abercrombie.
Yeah, they light up knowing like,
right.
That's an option.
Right.
I can go. Abercrombie's like, I can go there and find like really stuff.
Great quality stuff.
I would say the only jeans I wear are Abercrombie. So
wow.
I'm a big proponent of what they do. And they got some great stuff. And they have some NFL gear. If you're a woman, especially, like there's like kind of like boyfriend
it's
sweatshirt
like fun
look.
Sweatshirts.
Yeah. I got a ton of I'll be wearing next week because they sent a bunch of like bear stuff that I'll wear to games and stuff. Like I'm excited.
Are you going to games soon?
I'm going to games. Yeah. I think I'm going to opening week. I think I'm going to make a little appearance.
When's that opening week?
The Monday after this episode comes out. I think I'm going to take a little flight to Chicago and see the game. I got to cheer on my bro.
Well, you got to wear your Abercrombie gear.
I'll wear all my Abercrombie gear. So what else is going on? What are we talking about today?
Do you have any shows coming up?
I do have shows. I'm all over this country. If you came to the shows in Denver and San Francisco, what a blast. San Francisco, whew, what a town. I mean, I just had such a fun time. Both towns, Denver, the kindness and just awesome. The people that like our show are just like fun, good people. And it makes me so happy, and the shows have been fun. Like I'm in the middle of like, your brother came.
Oh yeah.
Did he have fun?
I haven't even actually spoken to him since then, but I'm sure he had I'm sure. Yeah, he's been avoiding me to not tell me that he didn't like.
Your most critical sibling.
I haven't heard from him yet.
Oh, no, he's avoiding you.
He would have told me if he hated it. Don't worry.
I'm in Winnipeg this weekend, which I've never been to Winnipeg. Okay, Winnies, come on out. Kansas City, Missouri, Richmond, Virginia, D.C., Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Chicago, Durham, Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale, Royal Oak, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Orlando, Florida. I got so many dates in my calendar. So I'm like
when
touring.
When are you coming to Long Island?
That's happening. Long Island's coming.
Okay,
but
it's not out yet.
We added a show to Boston. Boston already sold out in February. Like that's or January or something. So I'm already sold out in a bunch of places. It's a theater tour. So
you blew it, Boston.
You blew it. Yeah. No, so theater tours. I'm asking you guys politely if you could buy early. That would be very.
When
helpful.
are you coming to New York?
after Boston.
Okay.
So we're doing a New York
Great.
one. There'll be a Long Island one, all that stuff. So how are you? What else? Anything coming from your end to announce before we get
same
going?
old shit.
Same old shit.
Listen
Okay.
to, listen over,
SOS.
right. Listen over, sharing, subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe. We have the YouTube exclusives. They're wonderful.
Yes.
I watch them.
You watch them.
I'm not into this show generally. Not a fan. But I watch those. Oh,
Do you get any tips from yourself?
I think we do a good job on these exclusives. Also, I brought a gift from San Francisco for the studio.
Thank you.
Another
Thank you.
titty shot glass. If you're
really,
watching on YouTube,
we're out of budget for decorating the studio, so Jared is
Every
taking
city.
one for the team.
this is more.
Every city, yeah, we should get. Is that next to the London one?
Yeah, we're gonna put it right next to. I have another one at home.
Jared, I got you a gift, but
Did you?
I forgot it at home.
Okay.
You're gonna get it tomorrow.
That makes me excited.
Maybe
the titties were too big to fit in her bag.
You'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow morning we're recording again.
Very
You're gonna get it. I'm excited for you because it is it's special.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. I love a gift. What are we talking about today?
All right. Our first email is a little different. We teamed up with our friends at Abercrombie to help solve some of your situationship woes in a segment we're calling Cuff It or Cut It Off, inspired by Abercrombie's incredible denim. So you sent us your situationships. We're going to tell you if we think it's worth making it official or if it's time to let go. Cuff it or cut it off. Let's get into it.
I love this. Again, Abercrombie, thank you for sponsoring this show. We're wearing the gear. If you look on YouTube, you can see how great it looks.
Yes.
I will say I'm very picky with like jeans and what I'm wearing on camera specifically, and look good, feel good, all that stuff.
Yes.
Abercrombie, just great fits. I would say the sizing is just, it hits you right. Good fall
Exactly.
stuff.
Good quality denim. Love it.
So you want to read it?
All right. Hello, Jared and Jordana. Firstly, big fan of the pod and all that you do. Male listener here looking for a little advice, perspective, or maybe just a laugh.
Love it.
I'm a 27-year-old guy who's been seeing a 28-year-old woman for about 2.5 months. Crunch time. Okay.
It's all coming in
TikTok.
On me. It's all,
We've been
the walls are closing in 2.5 months. What do we do?
2.5 months, almost 3. Okay. We've been on a lot of really good dates, from cozy nights in to more eventful nights out. As things get more serious and we start meeting each other's friends, we're inching closer to the question of cuff or not to cuff. Here's the issue. I feel stuck in a conflicted and admittedly crappy headspace. On one hand, she checks all the boxes. Funny enough, smart enough, pretty enough.
I don't put that on her tombstone.
I feel like we've had women describe men in that exact same way.
I know. And and the unfair spot of life, to go back to like that cut article, is I'm saying I'm not lying when I talk about my dating life and how I feel. But from a man, it doesn't sound great to be like, yeah, she's funny enough. Like, it makes him. I mean,
what do you want? The funniest person you've ever met, and the hottest person you've ever met, and the smartest person you've ever met?
No one's saying that. No one's saying that.
Sounds like.
But you want to say, I just think she's so funny and fun and hot. Like, again, there's like a branding thing.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to how you talk about someone you're dating that I'm aware of, but maybe he's more honest than I have the.
I mean, this doesn't sound unlike something you would have said.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's saying words. I actually appreciate, like, this email.
Yeah. I mean, I
has
think
an honesty to it that is
extremely relatable.
Yeah.
For men. On the other hand, I think
it's relatable for women too, but they would say that and then everyone would go, oh, good.
Right.
Like when a woman says, well, he's funny enough and he's, like it's almost like, oh, okay, great.
Right.
And he's like not creepy and, like it's almost like this weird thing. Like we're talking about the same person. Like
you could talk about anyone in both of those ways though.
Right.
I think it's more about the person describing them, right?
Right. I know that. All right, go on.
All right, we'll get into it. On the other hand, I can't shake the thought that maybe I'm settling and there's someone better out there, which leaves me wondering, why am I so reluctant to take the next step? Is dating someone who's good enough simply good enough? Shouldn't I be head over heels? Have dating apps and social media messed with my perspective, giving me the illusion of endless choice? And what if I let her go only to wake up in months or years from now, kicking myself when I realize it really is tough out there? I really appreciate your guidance on this, and I am looking forward to seeing Jared if he comes back to Toronto. Sincerely, whatever the male version of a betch is.
I feel this because it's, this could be me from the past writing it.
I think this could be anyone.
Right.
Right.
It could be anyone.
Yeah.
I'm dating this person. Take away gender, take away sexual affiliation. I'm dating this person. They're really a great person.
Right.
Could I find better?
This speaks to me like, do you remember Logan Urie's secretary
Right.
problem thing?
So
Scenario?
the premise being that you have to hire a secretary and you can only interview 100. What number would you stop on?
Right. I think the idea was like, she said that by the 30th person, like you could keep going, but you're not going to really find someone so much better than after the 30th.
It'll be a marginal in rate of return from the next person, which is gross, to put people in that way.
Well, it's not romantic. I don't think it's gross. I think it's not romantic.
Right.
I think in everyone's head, and this is kind of what romantic people and not romantic, I think everyone has this in their head of like, there's a person out there that's just going to knock me off my feet. Right. And I think both the cynicals and the romantics both think that. The issue is that the person who's like actually really romantic and really wants a relationship actually like dates that person when they think that they've like hit enough of their points. And I think the more cynical person always thinks there's someone else that could be a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 40.
Right.
And this guy's 27 and he's mirroring things that I've thought and felt.
Well,
So when I hear this, I'm like, what would I say to my 27-year-old self? And I, even at 40, single, sitting here having a lot of the emotions that he has where it's like, even what he writes at the end, kicking myself when I realize it's tough out there. There's a moment in my day every week where I go,
should I have married the 30th person that I interviewed for this job?
Should I have gone with that one or this one? And who am I to have ever ended things with people thinking that I was going to find something more special?
Well, can I ask you something? Have you ever like met a woman, even like a friend, a woman dating someone you're friends with or someone you know or someone like that, where you're like, I need to find someone like her. Someone who you thought was like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You do have that. Sometimes you think that of someone who's like taken.
Right.
Because it's almost like there's protection in that.
Right. Well, you also don't really know them.
Well, you don't know them. You don't really know them. And you also are like, well, this could never be. So it's easier to think it that way.
To think that they could be, that I need to find someone just like them.
Right. Because I'm never going to be with them, so I don't have to deal with the responsibility of like owning that.
Because it seems unlikely that you've never met like a single version of that person.
Right. And sometimes I wonder if the single version of someone is a held back version and you get that version once you've put in the time and work to get to know one another, and that's the idea of falling in love again. And again, you go on your vacation
you're truly
with Mike
yourself,
and you go, oh, whoa, I knew Mike the whole time, but now we know each other in this refreshed way, you know, the post-Lisbon way.
Sure. Yes, we're never the same.
Right. You expand. And, you avoid that because your fear is, what this guy's fear is, to turn around and go, is this? Like, 5 years in, and now you've wasted this other person's time, you wasted your own time, but it's never a waste of time, but that is, you have. Like,
well, it's tough because like part of me is like, there are certain people who can feel that way and certain people who can't. And in my head, when I think about this, those are the two ways that I think about this is, one, some people just don't ever like get to that point. They're not like the diehard romantic people who could be like totally smitten and propose in a year, right? But then I've seen men who actually do that.
No,
so so then I'm like, maybe that's not true. I don't know.
I was just with my good friends who got married right out of college. 3 kids, they're in it.
Yeah, you're coaching the soccer game.
They were coaching the soccer game. I was at the flag football. I went to the flag football game. We're taking the kids to this and that. And they're like, this is the weekend now. We take kids from this place to that place. And they've got a fun house. Like their house is like this.
You got like a tour guide into like suburban.
Oh my God.
Life.
I was like, I'm watching. I'm so interested. Because it's
You're like on safari.
Legitimately what it felt like was being on suburban safari. Like so to funny. See their life and to see the house. Like a lived-in house. It wasn't like brand new house. It was like kids shit everywhere. This place up. Yeah. And the video, the room that was the guest room is now like the kids' video game room. And that's where they go to play, whatever the fuck they play.
Video games.
Yeah. So, and the daughter is like, dealing with, middle school and friends and all that
That's
shit.
So cute.
It's unbelievable. And I'm like so happy to like be Uncle Jared. Like I come in there and they're like, Jared swears a lot. Like they said that they tell me they're like, Uncle Jared, he's crazy.
That's so funny.
And I had a really good time seeing them, but we're talking a little bit about relationships and like, we think back to their wedding. I was in their wedding. And they're even like, yeah, we just like did it. And
like, I can't believe we just did it? Or like...
It's not even like can't believe as much as it's like, we didn't know what we were doing to expect what we'd be right now. And they're like, I do think that they're happy. Yeah, I know they're happy, but I'm saying like...
Have you ever asked, and this would be like totally normal, I think, if either of them said yes, but I wonder if if either of them thinks like, could I have dated more people? Would there have been... another
they don't talk
good
like
match
that.
For me or something like that. And even having that thought, I don't think is crazy.
No, they definitely have had that thought. I mean,
I would imagine.
I would imagine.
Right.
But it's not like that one confided in me, like, what's it like on Tinder? But I did. But it was just interesting.
Well, because you can't know. Just in the same way of like, you probably think, like, what if I married my college girlfriend? You just don't know.
Well, I also think about stand-up comedy. Like when I started doing stand-up, I felt I would go to open mics. Going back to where I started now, I could never even do. I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they have the same feeling with
about
their marriage.
Dating? Yeah.
About like I could never even do that.
Start again.
Like I just start again. That'd be like, and I'm sure people who get divorced are having that feeling as well, where they're like, I got to start again. But I think if you're happy in your place in your marriage, you go, could never do that because I don't yearn for that.
Right, and also like. The risk of like losing the like amazing thing that I built here,
right,
wouldn't be worth the small possibility that there's someone who's the same or a slightly better match for me.
Right, but even when I think of like starting stand up again, I'm like, I can't even imagine it because it's just not even like I did it already.
Right.
Like I got over that hump. I think that they have that feeling.
But they didn't date already, like date in their
they
dated
in their minds.
College.
They dated in college. They,
I guess
they're still.
You're the one who says that's not real.
It's not real, but to them it's real,
right?
In college, remember when you like they taught? Oh, you used.
Well,
to
that's all they have. Yeah,
yeah. That's in their reality. That's reality. You know. I don't know. So
But what I was saying before about the guy who actually does feel like he's with someone for a while and then ends it with them and then is engaged in a year. Like, is that?
I think that's like the similar thing of like, you can convince yourself. That's when I hear this email, I'm like, this guy's going to dump this girl. Like,
I mean, probably, or he wouldn't be writing in.
Right. But I think
it takes a lot to get a man to write in here.
Right. But when you say good enough, fun
but should
enough,
he? Okay. It sounds like he's going to dump her, right? But should he? That's the question.
I think he should.
Why would ask because he could find someone better.
Not because he's going to find someone better. Because
that's his fear.
Here's what I want for me.
Is that he could find someone better.
Well, I think he's thinking of it. I think the branding of this email is off. And I think if he thought about it, like if I think my response to his email and from 40-year-old, the ghost of single future, are you excited? I would make it smaller. He's so far ahead of himself, which is what I do, that I'd be like, okay, are you excited for the next date?
2.5 months in?
2.5 months in. Are you excited? 2.5 months in, that's like so early. Are you excited to see them again? And I asked genuinely.
Okay.
And if you go, I could see them, I could see anybody else, would you be just as excited to meet someone new and that you might be, if you would, then I would end it.
Okay.
If you'd be just as excited to see someone else that you would be to see them in 2.5 months, I'd go, yeah, get out of that.
Right.
But make it
Or
smaller.
how would you feel if you never had to see them again? Relieved?
I've been there. So I don't know but I've been in this position like him and I'm not proud of it. But then you say nothing. You kind of go, oh, I'll wait till the next date and make the decision then.
Have you ever regretted it? Like you said,
course.
the kicking myself when I really realized it really is tough out there.
I kick myself thinking back to when I was in it. Did I give it enough of an opportunity?
Did I give it enough time to see where?
But did I value the hangouts? I think like if I look back on anything I regret as far as people I dated is like, I think because I would get drunk on a date and hang out and have fun in the way I was having fun, but I was having fun on my own instead of trying to figure out if we were fun together.
Right.
And that would be my regret. Not the didn't give enough time, but didn't value the time as it was.
Right. Are men kind of thinking about dating, especially at 27? Are they thinking about dating like, the only way I'm settling down or the only way I'm going to be in a relationship is if there is someone who's giving me this like X factor thing of irreplaceable, out of my leagueness.
Right. I think that's what a lot of women get upset with. Like,
well, that's what it feels like.
Right. The clock thing that gets kind of over talked about, but never really like looked into. Like the clock thing is less about babies, even though it's about babies, but it's less about babies than it is feeling that clock. Mm-hmm. Like I think at 27, he's not feeling that clock.
I'm sure.
He's feeling, will I miss out on future, will future people not be as good as this one? Like, I think
or better, it sounds like that.
Or better, but I'm
saying
that
they'll be better.
But the women that are talking about a clock, it's a different perspective, it sounds like. Well, like he's not worried about like, well, I won't be able to start a family. I won't be able to, I'll be behind all my friends.
Right.
That's not what he's writing even. That's, if you listen to him, it's, me. It's selfish. It's not.
Will I me what? Will I me
angry at me.
Right.
For screwing up.
Never get a girl this hot enough, smart enough, and funny enough.
I don't know. That's why I'm like, end it. Like, I just like, I think the male.
Well, that's why it feels so personal, because it does feel like they're like waiting for someone out of their league so that they could like snatch up.
Right. And if you put that to public discourse, that's where it gets personal and mean. But out of my league is such a personal thing. Like, right. It's not her versus another woman or on the rankings. Like, it's not like height.
Right.
If I just dump him now, I could find a guy who's 6'2".
Right. Some other factor?
I do think it's also has to do with like readiness and like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it about the person or is it about him?
I think it's about him. Like, I think that's the great reveal, like, to me about myself.
It's him the whole time.
Well, you look in the mirror, like, it doesn't sound like you have the confidence to move forward in your life.
Right.
And are you confident enough to be responsible for someone else while also extending your life and being better and improving? And I think that's like the game he's playing right now. Because I've played that game where you go, well, if I do this now, I have to go to like, I have to do the work.
Right. And I think it could go either way. Listen, like, this could be the best person he ever gets with. We just don't know.
I just don't think he'll think of it that way when it gets to like.
We think of it that way. It's never going to get any better than this for you.
I don't think he'll think of it that way. I think whenever he ends it with this person, which you will, and then you feel great about yourself. I just think you'll be excited more than you'll be questioning.
When you're ready. When you're ready, not about the person. I agree. So I would say, I think we're in agreement then that he should.
I think you got to cut it.
Cut it off.
Cut it off. Also, cut it off earlier than, don't cuff it, then cut it off. I'd rather cut it off earlier, giving the chance for like, hey, I didn't give that enough time. I feel great right now, and I'd like to go out. But you have to do that under like...
You're saying he should get into it, or he should not?
I think he's got to cut it with this person, but I'm saying that gives you opportunity for later. You get used to yourself, you feel yourself. Maybe you come back to this person.
If she's still available.
If they're available, if you're serious about it. Like that. Not to say that
If she's still available, yeah.
If. So that's cuff it or cut it off. Thanks so much for writing in. Finding the right relationship is a lot like finding the right jeans. When it fits, you just know. Well, I mean, to that guy, he doesn't know.
I guess so, yeah.
So, and thanks to Abercrombie, there's a fit out there for everyone. Straight fit, curve love, whatever you're looking for in a pair of jeans, they've got you. I love the jeans. I'm wearing them now. If you're watching on YouTube, I got the shirt on, got the jeans on. This is a whole Abercrombie outfit. I
All
love it.
Abercrombie.
Comfy, cozy.
And you can shop Abercrombie denim in the app, online, and in store.
Let's do another email. Petty or prudent? We love a petty or prudent.
Love a petty or prudent.
You're dating someone, you end it, you do something after the ending. Were you being petty or was it prudent?
Needed to be done.
Need to happen.
Yeah.
All right. J&J, longtime listener, 2018. Thank you. And subscriber, thank you. I would love to know if you think this situation is petty or prudent. I, 31 female, matched on Hinge with a guy, 32 male. Hit it off on the app. He asked if we could get together, and I offered a Saturday coffee date at one of my favorite cafes in town. We continued to chat most of the night before our date, and it was flirty and fun. So I was excited to meet him. I messaged him about an hour before the date to confirm, which he replied, yep.
Don't love a yup.
Yeah, yep.
What do you think of a yup?
I'm not a yep guy.
But girl, if a woman responded, yep, when you were...
It has an exclamation point, but I'd be okay with it.
Uh-huh.
But yep, it's just not, it's not something I would even say. Yep.
Yeah. You know what? I don't like an okay.
Okay.
Oh, letters, okay. Feels a little cold.
I don't like okay. I'm with you.
Right.
There's another one I don't like that has some coldness. Yup. Oh, thumbs up.
Oh, yeah. That's a little
reaction.
passive aggressive.
It's just, this isn't a business.
Would you rather a thumbs up reaction or a thumbs up emoji in
Reaction.
response?
No, the emoji in response
Is like,
you made an effort to do that.
yeah, there's something wrong with you.
I drive to the cafe where I am early and try to message to let him know I'm in my car when I don't see his name in my matches. I get a weird feeling and decided not to go into the cafe since he was unmatched and cut off any communication we might have since we never exchanged numbers. Was it petty or prudent to not go in the cafe after the guy unmatched on the app? Thanks for all you do, XOXO. A stood up bitch. What do you think? So she has the date set up.
Yes.
They've had some fun, flirty messages confirmed with a yep that we don't like. And she sees he unmatched on the app.
Well, you tell me, because you're more recently on the apps than me. What are the reasons someone would unmatch you on the app before a date that you have set up?
This is a tough one. I don't unmatch on the app unless I absolutely can't stand the person.
You want them out of your
I want them
face.
out of my life, and I want to let them know that this conversation didn't go well. That's very rare.
Okay.
That is my ego. That is me literally like...
That's a get out of my face.
If I could say fuck off, I would. This
Okay.
is my version of saying fuck off.
Okay.
And not that I'm proud of that. What...
Why would this guy doesn't...
What I hear
doesn't
back
that's
from
not what I'm
men who
hearing here.
unmatch, it sounds very organizational,
Okay.
which I don't relate to. So I don't know why people would unmatch on the app.
Especially
And-
when you don't have someone's number.
Well, that's why you don't get their number so that you can unmatch. This is why Snapchat, let's connect on Snapchat, you can take yourself out of their phone because you can unsubscribe on Snapchat. Where a phone number, you can't really do that. You'd have to block them. There's just layers to Snapchat and the app that are safety layers to either being able to cheat or being able to not have to give your number to someone. On the other side of that, there's people that are like, I don't want to give my number to a stranger. So I understand that.
Does this feel like nefarious to you?
It does. It does. It feels weird and off. And here's the thing.
It does seem weird to me.
It's weird.
Unless he got so excited about your dates that he deleted the
He deleted the app. He's
Yes.
like, this is the one.
Yeah.
I've found her.
Yep.
Goodbye. This is big ol' yup. Yeah, I can't see. And if someone explained to me why they unmatch on the app,
What if he deleted the apps because he's just like, oh, I'm going on this date and then I'm done?
I would assume I deleted the apps. When I got posted, well, I
Did you go on any app dates after you deleted
Yes.
the apps? Okay.
I'll give a personal
And is a
experience.
delete come off the same way as an unmatch?
I don't know.
Okay.
I will say this. I got posted in that Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook group. This was around the time I was doing the You Updating Summer Challenge.
Yes.
So I was deleting the apps anyways, but that gave me the push to do it. I did go back on the app and say, hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to delete the app, but I just want to make sure you have my number because it was people that I wanted to go out with still. I did have this anxiety that I looked like some sort of guy with a wife who just found out about his account.
Here's my number.
Right.
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Hey, I gotta go. Here's my number. Yeah, she's gonna pick up the phone here.
No time. Sorry, bye.
Yeah. It does have, and I say that as guy with a dating podcast that a lot of women listen to.
Right.
So I hear the voices of 1,000 scorned lovers every day. So I maybe am more in tune to the uncomfortability of weirdness on the apps, but that is kind of that's not a good excuse.
Right.
Like, I do think men should or have a little bit of knowledge or admit to at least the fears of women on these apps meeting strangers. So when you do something weird like this, where you unmatch because you have to keep your inbox at zero mentality, you have to admit that that's a weird thing to do, especially when you're going back and forth on the app and you don't have each other's number and you're
right. There's no other way to
meeting them
contact
that night.
Yeah.
So for her to say, was it petty for me to just not go into this cafe? I can't tell her that. I think that's prudent in a world where the fear of getting murdered or going out with someone who you have no idea what they're like because you've only met over a dating app.
And you have no way to contact them. Right. Yeah. I think.
Do you think it was petty?
I agree. I don't think petty is the right word.
Right.
Because is she trying to punish him? I guess that would be petty. If she's like, fuck you for unmatching me, I'm not going, that I guess is petty. If she's like, there's something feels off, that's not petty. That's like
protective.
Trusting your instinct. I probably would have gone in because it's a public. If it were me, I think I would have gone in because I'm already there. I assume I did my hair, and it's
I'm here. I'm in public.
Yes, I'm already here. I would go in and I would ask. I'm already here, so I think I would just go if I noticed this before I left earlier in the day. Maybe not, but if I was there, I would go and just ask.
She did get a confirmation, but it is weird to get the confirmation, then they're gone.
Yeah,
yeah, but listen. I can speak from my own perspective, like you can. I'm even farther away from her mentality because I'm like, I'm going to go.
You would go.
I would go.
Yeah.
And I would say, hey, I noticed you unmatched. I would say something.
Yeah, I would say something too.
Hey, I noticed you unmatched me. What's up? What's the deal? And I would need them
Do you not want to be matched anymore?
Right. I would need them to admit to.
That it's weird?
That it's weird. That, hey, can you please see it from my end?
Right.
Like, I want a little empathy for, hey, I'm here, but I'm like, we're kind of starting from a weirder place because
now you want to make sure I can't contact. Are you going to steal from me?
Right. And listen, if this date doesn't work out, that's fine. But you're not even trusting that I could have your number and be like, hey, nice to meet you.
Right.
Good luck with things.
Maybe you're not really ready to be in the dating world.
Right. So again, on a spectrum of I have a wife and kids that live in the suburbs to I don't trust someone to have my number because they're going to get angry that I don't want to go on a second date with them. They are on that spectrum.
Right.
It's all bad to me, but I don't think she's petty.
I agree.
Let's go. Let's do another one.
Hello, J&J. I'm sending a follow-up from the note I handed Jared at his show in Denver last night. Do you remember this person?
I do. I do remember this person.
Yes.
She was with a guy and she took pictures. I take pictures after every show.
Okay.
Okay. I say hello. The pictures
You look like you look like you do it. She sent the picture that you guys took together.
Yeah.
You look very happy to be there.
Of course I am.
You look like you're taking a picture with her.
Oh, I'm a fan of her. Yeah, you're right. We can post this on YouTube. Put up this picture. I take pictures after shows and I'm very happy to take those pictures because we just did the show. It was fun. And I would say 99.9% of the pictures are like the most gratifying, beautiful, like amazing thing to me. There's 0.1 that's like uncomfortable. Someone like just, I don't know why they
made you feel weird.
Line to make me feel badly, but like it happens. I had a woman, I mean, and I'm not saying this to say but she was like, like I go up to people, I go, hi, I'm Jared. I give my name so that they give me their name back.
Right.
Like I want to make sure that like I have like an interaction. You know, like I'm trying to like
you're friendly.
I'm being friendly,
Yeah.
but I'm also trying to be.
I've done a meet and greet with you. You're good in a meet and greet.
I try my best.
Yeah.
But I again, for some people, it's not easy to go say hello to someone. They're like, why would, like my dad always is like, who would want a picture with you? And I'm like, I don't know, but people want it. And I'm like, I'm happy to do it because it is a very nice moment.
Right.
And sometimes people have a story. I just want you to know I met my boyfriend because, you know,
Are they asking for advice?
Not advice, but this girl did, I remember, because, well, she hands me, there was one girl in San Francisco, she goes, I go, hey, I'm Jared. She goes, this is so transactional. And I'm like, what
does she want? You make out a kiss?
Like, do you want like a, hey, oh my God, I noticed you out of the crowd. You know, like I don't know what she wanted or thought this was going to be.
Literally, you pay for it. So it's by nature a transaction.
Right. I think, and it made me feel badly. I'm like, should I not be like, hi, I'm Jared? Like, I'm trying to be nice.
Right.
And I don't know. But this girl I remember in Denver, because they bring you to the back as they're like walking people out. It's like on the way out of the museum, you go to the gift shop and then you're out of there.
And then you get to see the clown.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is the clown. I'll give you your balloon. Thank you for coming. And she's with a guy and she's like, hands me a note. I'm like, we're in Denver, which is like a little freak flag place.
Menver.
Like, is she trying to like have, I was like, what's going on here?
Okay.
Like, I've gotten notes where
You
it's
thought
like,
she was like shooting her shot.
I didn't know what it was. I was like, maybe, because she seemed happy with this guy. She's like, I got to know what you think about this guy. And I'm like, okay. And so she hands me this note.
That's a lot to put on you.
I felt bad for the guy because like, what's he, like, the secret's going on in front of him.
She can't be with him without your okay.
Right.
Well, she said the note was scribbled while I was in the line for the meet and greet, as I was in an active situation where I needed advice and thought, what better than a hand-delivered note for the pod? Okay.
And here we are.
I was very drunk. That makes sense when I wrote the note, but it said something along the lines of, I am dating this guy who I really like, but I also really want to be single because I just got out of a relationship. Please help.
I remember the note.
Please help sounds like she's like in a like he's kidnapped her.
Right.
Please help.
And let me just say the guy she was with seemed very nice.
Right.
And like happy to be there. And I judge a lot of the women.
You cannot pass a scribbled note that ends with please help when you're out with a man.
Yeah.
Unless you are in trouble.
Get him.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
How would you feel about a please help note if you're dating a woman?
I wouldn't want that written while someone was with me. Yeah.
Please help. Okay. Here's the sitch. I have been dating this guy. Let's call him Steve. Him 29, me 28 for about 2 months. I met him on Hinge about 4 weeks after I moved out of living with my ex-boyfriend. This really is Menver.
Right. A lot of men.
Good for her.
They're like, there's so many men and they have hobbies. And I'm like, you guys got to.
That sounds great.
Yeah, you guys got to rewrite your complaint.
Right.
Like it doesn't, like to the rest of the women in the country, they're like.
That sounds wonderful. In New York, it's like there's no men and all they care about is money.
Right. That's totally true.
Right. Okay. I met him on Hinge about 4 weeks after I moved out of living with my ex-boyfriend. At the time, I was on Hinge just looking for anyone to take me on a date and to get back out there, and ended up matching with Steve, who I had many mutual friends with that vouched for him and our potential compatibility. Steve is great, possesses many qualities that I was missing in my last relationship, along with many qualities I'm looking for in a long-term partner. He totally swooped me off my feet, and our romance began hot and heavy, with us becoming exclusive in a matter of weeks and saying the L word within the 2 months.
Wow.
Please help. The issue is I basically woke up one day in a spiral feeling like it is all moving way too fast and that I would really like some more time to be single on my own, flirt around, and only be tethered to myself. I communicated this and he took it well, but also made it clear that he does not want to be waiting around in agony for the day I wake up crawling back to him. He seems to possess everything I'm looking for in a partner and feels like such a good match for me, but I can't stop the feelings of wanting to be single for a while longer. Fast forward to last night. I took him to Jared's show with me. We had an amazing night, and he absolutely loved Jared and was laughing his ass off all night.
That's right.
Do you approve?
I approve. I think he's great. I think you should marry him.
You'll never find anyone better.
You'll never find a guy like him.
He listened to me.
You'll find a lot of guys like him.
Yeah.
People generally like my comedy.
It's not so special. All right. He listened to me describe all the you up lore, waited in the meet and greet line, and took pictures of me and Jared. So overall, totally passed the vibe check. You know, you're fucked if you do. You're fucked if you don't.
I know. And
okay.
I actually remember them.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking the guy seemed like the sweetest.
Was he seemed really into her?
They seemed happy and giggly. They looked like they had been on an edible together.
It just goes to show.
Very Denver.
Now you know how women feel. You could be dating a guy, you look happy and giggly together, everyone thinks you guys look like the perfect match. All the while he's planning his exit.
Right. All the while she's passing a note to some
Please
random
help.
dude. Please help. Yeah. In my eyes, I looked at them, I go, look at this wonderful couple. Like I'm like their like doting mom, you know?
Everything's a lie.
My kids are all doing okay.
So J&J, I'd love some sound advice. What does one do when you find that someone's seemingly great for you, but the timing is off? Is this the same email as the first guy? Do I trust my instincts and take some space, or do I dive in and hope the desire to be single will pass? Thanks for all you do. Please help a hungover and helpless bitch.
I'll say this. There's a thing when you get out of a relationship, and this is why a lot of men, like a lot of women write to us, he's like a month out of a relationship. He can't be real.
Right.
Like she's kind of like doing the male thing where you get like, I have this where anytime I've gotten out of a relationship, I'm like, well, I have to do it right. I have to do it the way everyone wants me to do it. Or there'll be, I have to be single the way people assume I'm being single. Like I got to date
Can't
a lot.
just be hopping into
Right. I have
things.
this opportunity to be on my own and I'll never get this again. That's kind of how she's thinking of things. Like
she
once
might marry this guy.
Right. Well, once I'm in a relationship, once I'm married, I'll never have this opportunity again. And what if I'm one of the hunting wives that, all of a sudden I'm jonesing for my next door neighbor.
Right.
No one wants to be that character in the sitcom who's like trapped by their own life. And I think that's what she's trying to worried about. That while it's fun now and she's enjoying his company now.
Well, I think she also has the feeling of the first guy.
Yeah.
Am I settling?
Right.
Because no one who doesn't at least have that somewhere in the back of their head writes an email into us like this. I mean, the first guy said it more explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you really thought you found someone super incredible,
right,
would the timing matter as much?
And well, also she's feeling the difference between her and the guy is they said I love you within 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in it.
Yeah.
The guy is hypothetically in it.
Okay.
The guy earlier is assuming that the woman he's with wants to be together forever.
As they do.
As they do. She has stated,
right,
I love you, and which means I'd like a long-term committed relationship. She has locked the door. There's no hypotheticals. She's in. And that's probably why she's feeling it. She's like, did I write a check that I don't even know if I can cash?
Right. Which is more female to me.
Sure.
I think. Because women are like, let's get into it. I'll figure it out later.
And then you go, you see, this is why those TV shows that are like dramatized versions of it are a lot about women.
Right. Well, this guy is not going to be like, you wasted my like prime years
right.
of you know what I mean? Like,
but he is giving her a little bit of a.
Well,
I'm not going to wait in agony.
I think that's hot.
When it is good looking of him. I agree.
I think here's the thing. I do think you could meet the right person at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that's a possibility. But it's a risk, just like anything else, right? Like it's a risk to end something with someone who is really great, because all the timing and the logistics are not ideal. But it could be a risk that worth taking, and you could meet someone else that's also great, or you could not.
Have you ever been with someone where you're like, man, single would be fun right now? Like while you're with them, you're like yearning for single life?
Not someone I like committed to. No.
Right.
I don't think I would commit to someone if I wasn't. I think that's also sort of like how I would operate in relationships. I was like all in or like get the fuck away from me. I don't think I was I don't fully relate to the like I'm kind of into you thing while we're fully together.
Right. And that's why like
unless you have a lot of actually that's not true. In college maybe I had that feeling.
Right. And well, I'm sure she's sitting there going, well, I found a great guy in 4 weeks on Hinge.
Well, that's the thing. You're as loyal as your options. Right.
And why would I, maybe it's me,
so
maybe
hard.
I'm the problem. If it's, because I'm sure from her angle, it's hard for everyone else. It was easy for me.
Right.
Maybe I'm delusional and I'm jumping in too soon. She's doubting herself, I think, a lot.
No, I think she's like, I do think it comes back to the as loyal as your options thing. I think she's kind of like when there's people are more likely to commit when there's a feeling of a little bit of scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what she has here is abundance.
Yeah.
Not scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if that's your mindset, then you're not going to feel like you're. A lot of dating is about ego and feeling like you've like won something.
Right.
And so I think in this scenario or in her dating experience, that's not how she feels. So I think it's really about the situation. It's not about the guy. I think if she met this guy when she'd been single for 4 years, she'd be like, oh, of course. Like, I'm going to.
Right. And that's the timing doesn't like match the.
Or after she'd been rejected a bunch or.
Do you think she should end it with this guy? I mean, is it?
I think it's a risk. I can't say for sure.
Is it misogynist of us to like look at this woman who's in a similar plight, again, a little bit different, and go, stick in this thing, kid?
Hold on to stay here as long as you can.
Hold on to this guy because he's not a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. I'm airing this out loud.
I said the same thing about the guy. It's a risk, right? It's always that's what's so hard about life, making decisions, because you don't know what will happen if you make a different decision. There's just no way to know. You can only know based on the decision that you make. So it's hard. That's why things are hard to commit to.
I know. I think she's going to be okay. I think.
You think she should end it?
I think she should end it. I think if you're passing notes in class.
He's laughing your whole set.
I know, I like him, but more for him than her.
I agree. It's
Release him. Let him out there. This guy like is ready. This guy is screaming, I'm ready to be in a relationship, and you're not. Listen, and I'll say the same thing to her that I said to the last guy. I think you need to shake it off, go figure out your own shit, because maybe she goes back out there and a year later she's going, I'm still got him on my mind. You can come back here, but be serious about it.
If he's still available.
I don't know. But
that's the annoying thing about dating. It's like, go out there for a year, see what a piece of shit all the other people are, and then come crawling back to me.
Listen, I've had that view on my own life with I'll end this and I can always come back, but then I don't go back because I would feel too badly ending it again.
Right.
And if I'm even thinking of that, that means I don't want it enough.
Right, but do you not want it enough because it was so easy to get?
I don't know.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. And that's probably
because you have a lot of options.
Listen, I posted something. The options are getting annoying, if I'm going to be honest. This sounds horrible, but
you did get ghosted. So
yeah, so I am a loser still. I'm just
never forget.
This sounds bad, but I get presented with a lot of very nice people to be let's do drinks, and it's I don't. Easy come, easy go.
You don't want to be asked out.
No,
that's why you shouldn't ask out a guy like you.
Probably not.
We say ask someone out. I do think you should. I don't think there's a rule that never ask a guy out, but I wouldn't ask a guy like you out.
Really?
I wouldn't, because I think that you're a guy who doesn't feel a scarcity, right?
Right.
And so you're making something that comes easy even easier. And so I don't think it sets up the dynamic
that I would be
in a good way.
About.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're already starting 2 steps behind.
Well, maybe that's the advice to this girl. This is a bad advice, but to get out of it so that maybe you make it harder on yourself. You'll appreciate it if you do come back, and the timing will be better
if he's still available.
But I think if you're passing notes, if you're going,
the passing notes thing, I think is a bad sign.
Right.
She's not. Here's the thing. She's someone who's scared of losing someone is not passing a please help note.
No. That means that he won't. There's nothing you could do that could make him go away, which is not great.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I would tell him, I think that I met you very soon. I think you're great. I think I need time to be single. I hope, I need to take some time. And then if you're I don't want to say
don't even say that. I think, listen, I need time. And this time also includes me not talking to you anymore, as hard as that's going to be.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been in things where I'm sitting there debating it, and then they're like, well, what are we doing here? And then it turns into I think her fear and my fear a lot of times with these things, and the guy's fear in the beginning, is a lot of times that it's ending it feels even more personal than it should be. When you end it, it's not, you want to be yeah, I just want you to know I don't hate you. I don't think you're bad, and I don't think you're not good enough. I want you to know that. And I don't know how and there's no way of saying that to someone and making them believe it.
But that's also not true. Like,
it is,
if you,
but
if
it's
you really
good enough
thought,
is like to me is not good enough to the whoever it ends up being.
I don't think you're good enough to me.
Well,
for me,
but that
of a
feels
match
more
for
personal
me,
than
yes.
the way these people want to say it. I
Right.
think this girl, you're not good enough for what I'm looking for right now. And what I'm looking for right now is randomness and no responsibility.
Right.
And you give me responsibility and a definite direction to my life.
Right. I'm not
that
sure
I
I'm ready
am
to go
not
there
ready
yet.
to go
Yeah.
for. That's a good way, I think,
That's
of putting
good. Yes.
it. Let's play some games. We love Red Flag Deal Breaker. It is the game sweeping the nation. Red Flag, it's something you notice, but you keep going. Deal Breaker, you end it. So one thing happens. Let's read the emails. You ready?
I'm ready.
I, 30 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 30 male, for a year and a half. We live in the LA area, moved in together about 2 months ago, and since shortly after we met, we've been spending 5 to 6 nights a week together.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I recently found out that he watches live gameplay to fall asleep every night. The only reason I discovered this is because I woke up one night and saw him on his phone. He got super sketchy about what he was doing and quickly hid his phone when he realized I was awake. When I asked what he was doing, he brushed it off as nothing.
What?
He's really making it seem like porn.
Right.
But eventually showed me the live action gameplay he pays $20 a month for. This means he waits for me to fall asleep and then watches the live gameplay to fall asleep. Red flag or deal breaker? My new boyfriend watches video game live streams every night to fall asleep. Is it a red flag or even a deal breaker that he felt the need to hide this?
I think it's fine. I think it's a little weird that he tried to hide it. So, but it means he cares what you think.
Right.
He thinks it's a little embarrassing.
So live gameplay is like he's watching people play
Sports.
video games.
Is that what it is?
No, I think it's more he's watching people
I thought
play
it was
video
sports. Oh, that's a little losery.
It's losery. Yeah.
I thought it was like a live like soccer game or
Right.
something.
This
Yeah.
is the thing that like we used to
I mean,
do
I guess why should it matter? Right?
It doesn't
'Cause
matter.
one is like cooler than the other. Like they're both pretty fucking lame,
I mean, she
guess.
puts it's lame, but
Right.
like I mean, growing up, we used to play video games, and we would have friends that would watch. I'd be like, "Why would this guy watch?"
You have
don't
some
play.
weird sleep habits.
Yeah,
Right?
well, this is my point. It doesn't matter. Like, if a good night's sleep is so hard to come by that there's a whole industry based on we'll get you to sleep. Everyone wants to sleep. Everyone wants to be able to sleep well. And whatever gets you there, again, within reason.
Fair.
It's like
Good.
within reason. Yeah. It is it worth $20 a month to you to go to bed right away whenever you want to go to sleep?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd pay
whatever,
more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So whatever gets you there, gets you there. I listen to sports talk radio to go to bed. It is hard for me when I'm with a partner to like figure that out with them. Like I need it. Like
Yeah.
I need to put like a radio on
Every
a 30
night.
minute sleep. Yeah.
What do you do if you're with a woman?
It's hard. It's hard. That's why it's always been hard
Do you
for me
wait
to
for them
sleep.
to go to sleep?
Kind of sometimes. I try to put it low. I've worn a headband that has a headset in it.
Okay.
And so I'm just wearing my headband to
That's
bed.
very funny.
Yeah, I've tried different versions. I can fall. The problem is I can fall asleep without listening to radio.
You just don't want to.
I just don't want to, or it's just easier.
You're not hurting anyone.
Again, so
Right,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Well, that's why I actually, now that I'm thinking about it more, I actually think it's a green flag that he tried to hide it because he's like a little ashamed of it, which I think is nice.
I think it's nice.
Right.
I think everyone's a little ashamed of like,
Because he knows it's like kind of dorky, I guess.
he knows that's kind of dorky, but also like, I think anyone
He cares
who,
what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, he cares what you think. But I think anyone with like a sleep strategy is a little embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
Like we're all supposed to just go to bed. Like I think we do have like this little weird shame associated with like, I have this, but most sleep experts, whatever that is, do suggest like a routine
Right.
to get you to bed. So like, but I do think it is normal to have this shame.
Yeah. I don't think this is a red flag or a deal breaker. Especially, it's kind of nice he waits till you're already asleep. He probably does it
thoughtful.
quietly.
Yeah.
This is nice.
right?
Yeah.
I think I would get into why were you such a weirdo when it came to like me seeing this.
I mean, if I were him, and the answer was like, I know it's kind of lame, and I was like a little embarrassed, and I didn't want. I didn't.
Right, because
I wanted to come off cool. You're my girlfriend of like 2 months.
Also, if someone wants to make you a weirdo, it's very easy to do that. Like, let's say he's watching video games, like people play video games, and the professional gamers, which they are like 15.
Right.
Like someone could go, so you watch little boys play video games to go to bed? And you'd have to be like, yeah, but it helps me, and I don't think of them as little boys. I think of them as video game professional gamers. Like, again, anyone can do that to you. Jared, you have to listen to men talk about sports to fall asleep.
Right.
And I'd be like, yeah, but the men like are experts and former athletes. And
yeah, I do guided sleep meditations.
Right. We just did Jay Shetty.
I've listened to Jay Shetty to go to sleep. He's got a great one.
He's got great sleep
on the Calm app.
voice.
I have the Calm app. I listen to.
There we go.
But I always say to Mike, because I'm not doing it with headphones.
You can deal with it.
No, I'll say, do you mind if I put on the sleep meditation?
Right. Does he like it?
He doesn't. I think he's like on his phone. I usually go to bed earlier, but sometimes he's like, can you pick a different one? This person's voice is like annoying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been falling asleep lately watching The Golden Girls.
Really?
Yeah, that's my new thing.
That's something I can imagine hiding from a partner.
That's a little weird. I like to watch these 3 women.
What was your favorite?
These 4 women.
Blanche?
No, Estelle.
Oh, okay.
Blanche is
Estelle the slutty one?
Estelle's the grandma.
Which one's the like?
Blanche is the slutty one. Rose is the dumb one.
Okay.
And what's the other one?
You just said
she's the main character.
Estelle?
No.
There's 4 of that? Is this the original
4.
Sex in the City?
Some would say. Gloria? Dorothy.
Wasn't there a thing where those...
Wait, Dorothy, Rose, Blanche. Sophia's my favorite, not Estelle. Estelle Getty played Sophia.
How old are they? Wasn't there a thing where like they're actually like quite young?
Yes.
But they're playing... They're like your age.
Excuse me. The great reveal of this show is that they're like 50.
Yeah.
And you're like, they ruined.
They look so old.
They look so old. Well,
no 50-year-old woman on TV would have gray hair now.
Right. And Sophia, they had to make her look older to do the show.
Is she the old one? No.
She's the old one.
Oh, she's the super old one.
And she's the grandma character. But if you watch the Golden Girls, like, the topics they got into, like real world, racial, sexual. We learn something every week on the Golden Girls.
How old were they?
Sophia was way younger than they made her out to be on the show. She's so funny. They just had an episode where one of their grandkids comes and he's a bad boy. And they're like, he's just rude to them immediately.
Where did they live together?
They live together.
In like an assisted living?
And I would say, no, it was like a house and they're in Miami.
They're just roommates? They're just
roommates because they all had their own situations where they came to live together and it was like a nice thing.
That's such a nice progressive show for whenever this came out.
Totally progressive.
Right?
And yeah, they get into a lot of those topics. I mean, Blanche being considered like a sexual woman at that age is very progressive.
Yeah, she walked so Samantha could run.
That's right. She's the original. I think
Samantha was also supposed to be like 50, but also but looked much younger than these.
Well,
women.
Samantha, like the optics were much better.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, she was like sexy.
There's moments where Rose, you go, she's hot. Like you. I've had that conversation myself.
Red flag or deal breaker. His celebrity crush is Rose from
what's her
Golden
real
Girls.
name? Betty White.
Yeah.
Betty White. You have moments where you watch Betty White and you're like, what? Am I into her? Yeah. Like and then when Betty's like, she's the dumb one, but she also when she like surprises them, you're like, Betty, good. I'm happy.
With her wit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess not a red flag or a deal breaker.
Yeah. He watches old women dealing with everyday issues.
Golden Girls.
Yeah, I've really got into the Golden Girls.
It's masturbates to Betty White and Golden Girls.
You always go darker.
Sorry.
Just once.
Okay.
All right, let's do another.
All right. Hey, J and J and Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie.
How's Ronnie doing?
We just picked him up from my in-laws. We left him there for our trip. I was so worried he was going to forget about us.
Did he remember you when you came back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
He definitely did. Well, Mike and I have this recurring fight because Ronnie is not neutered yet, so he keeps trying to hump my leg.
When are you going to get him neutered?
I think they said to wait till closer to like a year. He's
okay.
Only 7
This
months.
wasn't you being like, I will not vaccinate my child.
No, I'm fine to neuter. I mean, like, he only has one ball.
One left.
Yes. He's anyway, I'll get into we'll talk about Ronnie later. Avid listener here with a classic long-term relationship dilemma. My boyfriend, 29, and I, 28, have been together for 4 years. We started dating in grad school and from early on always talked about a future together, planning our lives around each other. A year ago, 3-year mark, I moved states for his residency and we moved in together. At that time, I told him I wasn't in a rush but wanted to be engaged by 5 years. Not for the title, but for the commitment. Not for the title.
Not for anything other than nothing.
Now we've hit 4 years, and while he alludes to next steps, nothing concrete has happened. He told friends he'll propose soon, but admits he doesn't have a ring or a plan. His reasons are always residency stress, lack of money, or not having time to plan. I've given him a lot of grace, but lately I'm wondering if I'm just making excuses. I've sacrificed a lot for this relationship, and I'm not sure I'm seeing equal reciprocity. So red flag or deal breaker. He keeps putting off proposing after 4 years. Thanks for always keeping it real and making me laugh on my commutes. Sincerely, an exasperated bitch.
Well, I'm sorry she's going through this. I will say this. She sounds like she's talking about her relationship the way people talk about a bad investment.
She keeps waiting for it to mature.
Right. And there's this like, there's a philosophy in economics of like I used a lot of smart words and then I didn't know the term. It's it's
loss. You don't want to take the loss.
You're just not. You keep putting more money into something that's going to lose.
She won't cut her losses. You're saying
right, but she's a bad negotiator. Like she's never going to leave this relationship, and he keeps She's negotiating against herself.
Well, it sounds like they're not having a real conversation.
Right.
And also, like, what is her? She's saying, because the conversation I would have with him is like, I'm looking to be engaged. We talked about this. It seems like you're not really making any moves to make that happen. Is it a money thing? Is it
sunk cost?
Sunk cost. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. I would like get to the actual root of whatever his issue is, if he's willing to tell you. If he's not willing to tell you, then the issue is you.
Well,
but I'm saying, if like, let's say it is a money thing, right? She said he's
well, he says residency.
He's in residency, fine. So he has no money and he's stressed. I think that's probably true.
Yeah, but then what is she even looking for?
Right. My question for her is like, does she want to be engaged? Is she okay with a cheaper ring? Is she okay with like not hanging out a lot because he's stressed? Like, I would make her actual priority known, which is like, I don't care about the ring. I just want to know that we're headed towards marriage and like an engagement, and whatever ring you have is fine. That's not what she's saying.
No, and he's he's not. I know what he's doing. He's pushing off the decision till later. So he keeps her in this like, yeah, of course, stress, whatever. And then he'll have to deal with it when he has to deal with it.
He has to do. To me, this is like slowly pushing off a Band-Aid.
Well,
this is just torturing yourself for years instead of just.
Sure, but he's just looking for calm today. We'll deal with it tomorrow.
I think that's cowardly.
It is. Mm-hmm. And he's blaming all these things that she can't really disagree with because he also knows that like it'll go away.
That's why she's a bad negotiator. Right. She doesn't know how to.
Right. She's never going to leave.
I would call. That's what I'm saying. I would call it. I'd say, I don't care about a ring. Just like, get me anything just to show me you're committed.
Right. She doesn't want a real answer. So
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They're not having that real conversation. Because if I were her and I really meant that, I would say, all right, let's get to the root of it. What's the issue? We've been together 4 years. Is this happening?
Well, when is it
happening?
Problem she goes, I want to be engaged by year 5. We've hit year 4 and I want answers. It's like, well, you fucked yourself.
Right.
You put this.
You negotiated against yourself.
Right. You put this 5-year thing on it. And I think she has to go in and go, I've decided I want it now. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what we're doing. And a lot of it is to preserve. He's hiding under the mask of like she's preserving like this romantic thing.
So you don't think he wants to do this?
I don't think they're having a real conversation. I think they're having a fake conversation about hypotheticals where she could be like, hey, like I think like there's
I've said this before. When you have 4 excuses, you have none.
Right.
If you have one excuse, it could be valid. If his excuse was, I don't have any money for a ring.
Right.
I'm a resident. I make
whatever
low amount of money. I don't have any money for a ring. Okay, now you have something that you can compromise for if you want. Right. But he's not just saying that. He's got how
17.
Lack residency stress, lack of money, not having time to plan.
Not having time to plan is like the most bullshit of them
yes.
all. Like you guys have free time on a Saturday that you spend together, whatever your time, and let's go look at rings.
And again, and what I would respond to that with, I'm not looking for like some crazy elaborate proposal that takes 6 months to plan.
Right. I'm looking to like hear what we're doing.
Yes.
So will this happen? Won't this happen? I don't know. I just think she's afraid to hear an answer.
That's why they're not having a real conversation. And that's why these things happen when you hear about these couples who were together for 4 or 5, whatever years, there's a conversation that's being avoided where like, because that's weird, I think.
Right.
To not be on the same page.
And it's like not even about the ring. Like you obviously feel uncomfortable about other things. You're not getting deep with this person. Like it's a structural thing. This is, the ring is, the guest bedroom. The structural thing is like, I can't even like feel comfortable going to talk to him because I feel like I'm getting like, 17 excuses and he's doing this with his right while he's doing this with his left.
It's like, let's be vulnerable. What's your real issue? And you have to not be afraid of the answers that you get.
Right. And not be afraid to leave it. Like, hey, if I can't have a real conversation with you about engagement, then this is a relationship I can't be in.
Yeah. And that's how you save your own time.
Right.
Because I don't think any guy will say, I'm not sure. Unless he's leaving.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do it. It's not something that men say when they're staying in the relationship.
I would say, I love you and I am having so much fun with you. And oh my God.
I see it happening eventually.
Residency. Well, yeah, one day.
Right.
Yeah. You said 5 years. Like you said 5 years, like that's like a child. You said we could go to bed at 10.
Right. 5 years. Where'd you get this?
I don't give a
from?
fuck. Things changed.
Right. Yeah. It's okay for you to change your mind.
Right. Let's do another.
All right.
J&J, love the podcast. Recently subscribed to the benefits episode, and I love them. Currently doing Jared's summer challenge, and it's going really well. I've been to a few weddings, great places to meet people, and at one of them, I met a guy I hit it off with. We danced, kissed, he got my number, and planned a date for when we both are back in London. I will say this, the summer challenge, the big part of it the unrealized part, is the distraction of the app being gone. You're out, you're in the canoe, you're out to sea without a paddle.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable, and there's no crutch. This person, you went to the wedding, there was no swiping at the wedding. People go, why would you swipe at a wedding? People do. It's on your phone. Same way. Why'd you look at Instagram while at a wedding with all your closest friends? It was there. So getting it off there.
Did you solve dating?
I might have. We might have. That was about 6 weeks ago. Since then, we've been on 6 dates. Things are going well, and it feels like we're moving at a good pace. Here's the issue. He's a bad texter. Like, won't reply up to 3 days bad.
That's crazy.
I've already told him this bothers me, not because I need to text all day, every day, but because being left on red for 3 days makes me feel weird. He usually texts the day after we hang out, but then fizzles till next time we make plans. For context, he's 34, I'm 30. We both said we're looking for something serious. I'm still dating other people, and I assume he is too. Since we haven't had the conversation yet, but probably will in the next month if things keep going. My question to you is, am I beating a dead horse and are we just not a match? Or is there something we can overcome? It is truly so far the only red flag. I also don't want to bring it up with him again, as I brought it up 2 different occasions and I do not want to be a naggy bitch. So red flag or deal breaker, he doesn't adjust his texting style even after I communicate how I like to communicate. Help, sincerely, ghosted but not really. What do you think?
Here's her issue. When he doesn't answer her text for 3 days, it doesn't make her feel weird. It makes her feel like not a priority and like he's not taking this seriously.
Right.
I answer texts from people that I like and I'm looking forward to seeing, like not every 3 days.
Right. And I think of them to text.
Yes, especially if they've told me that they don't like when I do this.
Right. So
doesn't make her feel, replace the word weird with turned off.
Yeah.
Or deprioritize.
Well, I think she's wondering, the thing that she's holding back from is the thing that it's funny. Like in golf, they tell you do the opposite of everything you think you should do. And that's the answer. So in the same way with dating, like she's basically thinking, well, I want to be chill. I don't have a right to bring up what I have an issue with because we've only been on 6 dates, because we've only known each other for so long. But no, you have been on 6 dates with someone, you are concentrating on them, and you feel that they're not concentrating on you in the same way. I feel let down. I've had this said to me.
Yeah.
I've had this said to me, and what am I supposed to say? No, I'm okay. No, we're good. Or admit that they're right.
Yeah.
I'm not prioritizing this in the way that we should be prioritizing it now. And I think that is, I think like for her to be like, I'm dating other people, I think he is too. Like, I think that's part of her issue.
How so?
If I were her, you're writing into a podcast about this guy. You like him.
Yeah.
I think communicating to him, hey, I'm dating you and I'm prioritizing this over being single. I just want to let you know that. That's like a good reveal.
Yeah, and then 3 days later, you'll get a response.
Right.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Hey, you too.
Yeah.
Well, 3 days later, and then that now they know they're being zoned in on.
Right. But my other question for her would be like, do you want to date someone that takes 3 days to respond to your text? Like, do you want to date? Like, if your boyfriend didn't respond to your text for 3 days, I would assume he was like dead. Like, is that someone I want to date? Someone who I'm not, doesn't communicate consistently?
Right. I think she's got to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why like maybe saying like, hey, I'm dating you and I feel like you're dating me amongst other people because I only hear from you like when it's convenient on your end.
Right.
And that's my feeling. I might be wrong, but it doesn't feel like growing a relationship is the priority. Or I'm not made to feel that way. And I want someone who makes me want to feel that way.
There's got to be a little vulnerability.
Yeah.
Stop saying it makes you feel weird.
This is weird and so cringy. How about I feel like shit that I don't hear from you for 3 days?
Yeah, it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like you don't care about speaking to me.
Yeah. We solved dating.
We did it.
Check out our latest YouTube clip. It's an exclusive. It's about first dates, what to do, the top 5 things you got to do on a first date. And we love seeing your comments there. So keep commenting and back next week.
Bye.
Boom.